So what is this story that's genetically encoded in you? What is this structure? What does it look like? Well, we're going to build up a graph. We're going to build up a chart as we go. And this chart, this graph, is something that's inside of each one of us. And it's why all story is told the same way. It's why jokes work in a certain fashion. It's why people who are good storytellers are following a certain pattern. It's a pattern that's inside of you. It's beautiful. And the fact that editors, directors, and writers are using that structure, that narrative coding to inflame you to teach story is a beautiful thing. It's a human thing. It's talking deeply to your deep set DNA, the DNA of story that's inside of you. If you're an actor and you're going to bring yourself to the story, if you're going to surrender to the story and become character, you best know what the writer, editor, director, and everyone else who's building the story know about story. Cherry Jones doesn't feel things and then just follows suit, or Judi Dench, or they don't do that. We serve the story, and the story needs to be done correctly. Yitzhak Perlman doesn't decide in the middle of Beethoven that he wants to break into Led Zepp. It's just not his choice. Like, he can't decide he's going to play an F sharp if really it's a G, just for fun. He plays the notes correctly, and you have to play the scene correctly. The artistry is not in rewriting the material. Yitzhak Perlman's artistry is not in rewriting Beethoven. His artistry is in surrendering to Beethoven what beautiful, unimaginable, it's impossible for us to have premeditated what beautiful thing would arise out of Yitzhak Perlman playing that music that even he's not aware of. And that's the artistry. The artistry is after the fact we go, oh, there's a quality to Yitzhak Perlman that is so different. And yet he's playing the notes correctly. That's what we do for a living. Let's build the graph step by step. So, step one, the very first thing we do. Read the script, read the story, and know this. For every story, there are two conversations. There is an A conversation and there is a B conversation. We say, well, there's always two sides to every story. Well, that's true. There are always two sides to every story. A versus B is the definition of theme. Now, I'm going to be coming back to this again and again. So bear with me and go through this step by step. The two conversations in this scene are the A conversation versus the B conversation. There'll be things like fear versus love, or money versus morality, or justice versus denial, or professional versus personal, or something of that sort. And so the theme becomes something like, love will conquer fear if love is true, and that becomes the theme. Or justice is actually negotiable, that becomes the theme. Or money will always corrupt morality at any time, or something like that. So the first thing you do is you take your script and you go, what are the two conversations in this script? What are the two ideas? What are the two conversations? A conversation and B conversation. Now, your character is living in one of those conversations. The point of their conversation is the A conversation or the B conversation. In Good Will Hunting, her conversation is, come to California, I love you, the A conversation. His conversation in Good Will Hunting, in the Come to California scene, Will's conversation is the B conversation. He has fear. Love is painful. So that scene is love versus fear, and she's the A conversation, and he is the B conversation. It's as though actors are like so funny. It's like they think that writers are trying to like make it as hard for you as possible and trick you. But the answer is always in the script, always. It's right there. In Moonstruck, she goes, okay, maybe my nature does draw me to you, but I have a choice. God gave me a choice. I can take it or leave it. That's called morality, despite the fact that she wants him. And he goes, I know you're going to hell. I know I'm going to hell. I don't care. It means nothing but that I want you in my bed. So he's not saying it's not immoral. He's saying, yeah, it's immoral, but I want you. In Good Will Hunting, she says, look, I'm scared, I'm afraid too, but at least I'm willing to give it a go. Step 2. Ask yourself, now that we know the themes, what are the circumstances? What are the circumstances of this scene? What is this scene about? Where did it come from? What's the backstory? How did we get here? What are the circumstances of the scene? The circumstances are the backstory and the forestory. What has my character done? What is my character going to do? I've read the entire script and I'm armed with what the whole piece is about. Why is my character doing what my character is doing, and what does it all mean to me? These are the circumstances. The objective, O, is born of the circumstances itself. In this scene, what does my character want? They consciously want. They are making or getting the other person to do or be something for them. So my character wants her to love him. My character needs him to give her the money. My character wants to push away and end the relationship with his father. The character wants to get the other person to inspire him, whatever it is, want and get. And again, in Good Will Hunting, Skylar wants Will to come to California. She wants to make a go of this relationship with him, whereas Will's objective is to end the relationship because of fear, and so he wants to get away from her as fast as possible. Circumstances dictate the objective. The circumstances also dictate the relationship. The relationships are, what does the other person mean to me? Or if it's a multiple person scene, what do the other people mean to me? A relationship is not a title. It's not sister or boss or teacher. A relationship is a very specific story relation. She is the one who, or he is the one who. She is the one who I want to spend the rest of my life with. He is the one who knows me better than anybody else on the planet. These are relationships. Skylar's relationship with Will would be he is the one she wants to spend the rest of her life with or is willing to give it a go. Whereas for Will, Skylar is the one who will inevitably hurt him because love is not real and all love in the end is abuse. Circumstances, objective, relationships. C-O-R. The E in the word core is E for emotional truth. Now, of course, this will be everything we delve into in the next chapter in these lessons. But the emotional truth is also born of the circumstances. What's my character's emotional truth or emotional core? C-O-R-E, core. The story is the core. The core of the story is what's at play at core. Circumstances, objective, relationships, emotional truth. So, circumstances, what's going on? What's led up to here? What's involved? Why am I here? Right? Objective, which is, what does my character want out of the scene? Because your character's always a want, a desire, an intention, is an action. An action is movement, it's arrow, it's energy, right? And we are all actually just energy. We look like mass, but we're energy because E equals MC squared. So you are always in a state of want, which some people think of as negative, but it's really odd that you think that. It's wonderful. It's if wanting to serve or to help is still a want, wanting to not want is still a want. If my objective is to not have an objective, I just want to sit quietly and meditate. Meditating is your objective, right? Like you're until you're dead, and even then, some people will think you're still moving. So, circumstance, objective, and then relationship or relationships, which is who's the other person in the scene, what do they mean to you, and who are all the other people in the scene, and what do they mean to you? But relationships. So the acronym that I worked out, it took me a long time to work all this out, but the acronym that I worked out is, of course, C-O-R, and then E is your character's emotional truth. So that spells core. So the core of the scene is, what do I want? What's going on? What do I want? And who's involved? Core.